Things Podcast. Hey, Phantomaniacs, welcome to the newest episode of the Needless Things Podcast, where we talk about toys, movies, music, and all manner of pop culture dorkery. I am your host, Dave, and I have my hearing today thanks to some Dollar Tree earplugs. I went and saw Mastodon and Primus last night with our pal Rad Ranger at the fabulous Fox in Atlanta, and it was awesome. It was great. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about it. I hopefully won't go on and on and on. Because today we have an interview with our pals, the Casket Creatures, that was recorded live in the Phantom Zone, where we talk about a little bit of everything, but a lot about the new album, Return to Wolfton, which drops today live at Days of the Dead in Charlotte, North Carolina, but also everywhere else. It'll be, I don't know if today it's going to be available online everywhere, but I would think within the next week you'll be able to go to all the places you go to buy fine music, including the Casket Creatures website, or their Facebook page maybe. I guess technically it's not a website. They've got like a Reverb Nation page or whatever it is. So follow them on Facebook. You know how it works by this point. If you can't get online and find the person that does the thing, then they're either some kind of double super secret avant-garde person whose shit is too expensive for you to be buying anyway, or they're just not doing anything anymore and don't worry about it. There you go, right? Okay, so Mastodon and Primus, two bands that I love. Primus, obviously, I have loved for much, much longer than I've loved Mastodon, who I think is probably the best metal band of the past 2 decades. That goes back, 2 decades? That goes back to 1998. I think that's fair to say. I don't necessarily consider, because really the only other band post-1998 that I have any true affection for is System of a Down. And in my head, they're not metal. I suppose some would call them new metal. I don't know what they are. They're thrash alternative. I don't know, but I just don't think of those guys as metal, really. But Mastodon is beyond a shadow of a doubt, without argument, metal, and damn good, incredible metal. And they put on a heck of a show. I haven't seen them since 2012 for some reason. I did not realize it had been that long. I saw them at the Masquerade Music Park. I think it was the day after my birthday then. And that show was tremendous. As a matter of fact, I would go so far as to say it was a better show than what I saw last night. And last night was great. Look, if you're seeing Mastodon live, you're seeing the most powerful rock music you're going to see. It's just an epic wave of badassness. But it's not, there are different types of live music. There are those bands that, as Henry Rollins says, get up on the microphone and go, "Oh yeah, hey baby, how you doing tonight? Oh yeah, rock on Atlanta." Like those guys that are kind of entertaining, and they do the patter between songs, and they give you a different kind of musical experience. Mastodon plays the songs that you've heard on their albums really loud, really, really well live. They don't do, there was a little bit of banter because they're from Atlanta, so they had a little Atlanta banter, and I'm sorry, that was terrible. But really, you're just going to see the metal force of Mastodon, and that's kind of it. And it's great, but that's it. Primus, on the other hand, in my mind, are very much a band to be experienced live. And I've seen them 5, 6, somewhere around there times since I first started loving them in 1990, 91, something like that. when my buddy Matt introduced me to them. And it's funny because I feel like there have been a couple times where I've gotten grumpy less and a couple of times where I've gotten jubilant less. So I've seen Primus when they have put on an incredible show, and I've seen Primus where Les Claypool, for whatever reason, seemed a little subdued or not as into playing to the live crowd. Last night was probably the best I've seen Primus, and that's saying something because their song selection wasn't necessarily one. First of all, they played their new album, The Desaturating Seven, in its entirety in the middle of the set, and that was fantastic. It was, I hadn't heard any of it yet. It came out last year, but Primus is another one of those bands that I kind of get away from a little bit because they did a couple of like Les Claypool has a dozen different projects, and most of them are he leans a little too far into like the hippie jam band type stuff that I like. The Flying Frog Brigade. I couldn't get into. There was Oysterhead, the one with the fish guy. Obviously, that's not my thing. I think that was the one with the fish guy. So some of the stuff he does is a little too hippie for me, and I feel like there was a phase where some of that was kind of infecting Primus a little bit. In the same way that when Mike Patton starts a new band, like the first album is something cool and different and new, and then the next album is like, yeah, that's Mike Patton, all right. Which, look, I'm not saying that's negative. I'm just saying that sometimes your other stuff can mess with your main stuff. Like, I look forward to the day when one of the guys from the Casket Creatures starts some kind of new age keyboard project, and then that starts to infuse the Casket Creatures music. I'm just kidding. That's not going to happen. Gosh, I kind of hope that does happen. But anyway, you guys know what I'm talking about. Music changes. The bands we love sometimes do things we don't love. So I kind of lost touch with Primus for a little while. So I had not heard the new album. But they came out last night. Mastodon kicked all kinds of ass. It was great. And they went on before Primus, which was really cool because, I'll be honest, Primus's set was so good and so much fun that chances are I wouldn't have stuck around for Mastodon's whole set because they weren't, like, in my head, I have a Mastodon's greatest hits album, and I won't go into it now. Maybe I'll write it on the site. But in my head, I have a Mastodon's greatest hits album, and they played like 2 songs off of Dave's Mastodon's greatest hits, and then lots of other stuff, and it's all good because they've never made a bad song. But when you're seeing somebody live, like, you want those grooves that you like, like that stuff that you're into, or the stuff that you'd like never hear live that you're like, oh wow, that was interesting to hear live. That was an experience. And Primus came out, opened up strong, and right now I can't remember off the top of my head what they opened with. I think it was something off Seas of Cheese, and then went into Winona's Big Brown Beaver. They played Too Many Puppies with Sgt. Baker in the middle, came back to Too Many Puppies, played a couple other things, played the entire new album, which was awesome. The artwork is based off of a book called The Rainbow Goblins, which you can Google and look up all you want. I am not qualified to talk about it because I haven't read it yet. I just know this from some quick Googling I did because I wanted to see where this art came from. But the album, The Desaturated Seven, was very, very cool. I bought the vinyl. I'm very much looking forward to sitting down and just listening to it. I'm glad that I saw it live. But it's a concept album, and I'm stoked to actually, as soon as I'm done recording this, put it on and just sit in my chair and listen and enjoy it. And then when they were done playing the new album, they went back and played some other cool stuff. Then it was great. It was a great fun show. It was fun dancing around the stage, doing his weird stompy bass playing thing. It was just a great, great time. Red Ranger was into it until he left before Primus was even done. Red Ranger. No, you were right. You were right. Because the encore was Southbound Pachyderm and then like an 8 or 9 minute instrumental, and then they left. Which, it was cool. It was cool, but again, I'm sitting there waiting for like Jerry Was a Race Car Driver, or Tommy the Cat, or John the Fisherman. They played Herald of the Rocks, which I had not seen them play live, I don't think, but I do have on 2 live albums. Anyway, I'm going on way too long about this show that you guys didn't get to see, and I'm sorry you didn't. I would have brought you with me if I could have. But anyway, I just had a great time. I'm still really excited and really pumped about it. I ended up spending money at the merch table, which I had not planned on doing because Mastodon had an incredible shirt. Primus had a great tour shirt because I fell in love with this album, and they had a tour shirt with the Rainbow Goblins on the front. So I grabbed that. I got the Primus vinyl. I got Remission on vinyl, which I did not have, and I thought, I was like, okay, here's a Phantom is Dumb story, or Dave is Dumb, whatever. So I'm in the line at the merch thing, and I've got my whole vinyl deal going on right now. I like getting records of stuff that I don't already have, or stuff that I know I'll enjoy sitting here in the Phantom Zone listening to, and getting up to flip it over and listen to the next side, and whatever. So I've got a couple of Mastodon albums on vinyl, but I don't have Remission, and I'm standing there at the little glass counter, and they've got the billions of T-shirts, hundreds of posters and patches, and I bought a print of the tour poster in 2012, and I kid you not, I think it was more than $25. It might have been 40. I might have paid $40 for it. The one for this show was $80, and I was like, nope, because 1, that's too much. 2, I don't have any more room for posters. But anyway, I'm looking at all of this merch, and I look down into the glass counter, and they've got Remission on vinyl. Now, this is the sort of thing that probably happens to everyone, but very few people admit it because it's so dumb. I was like, ooh, they've got Remission on vinyl. I should probably grab that here. That's probably some secret stash that Mastodon had. And now, look, I could have taken an extra minute, stepped out of line, looked it up online to see, like, oh, is this really going to be hard to get? And I didn't. I just made an assumption. I was like, okay, it's Remission. This is probably super special that it's here. There's got to be a reason they have this old-ass album here with all their new merch. I was like, let me get it. And then I realized it was signed, which I don't care about. If something is signed, I want to be there when it's signed. I don't care about, like, pre-signed crap. The Primus album, I didn't pay the extra for the signed copy because if I'm not meeting the band members, then those signatures don't really mean anything to me. Like, I don't care. That when I get something signed, part of that signature is the experience of having had it signed. You know what I mean? So the Mastodon album is signed, and the price that they're charging reflects that. But in my head, if I don't buy Remission on vinyl now, I'm going to have to wait until it's like reissued or something. Like I need to get it now, or else it's either going to be a long wait or a lot of money. And also, it's an old album by Mastodon, and as big as they are, who knows if they reissue stuff? I don't know. I don't have enough facts to make the decision I'm about to make, but I make it anyway. I bought the album. I get home, and the guy, he was like, I think this is even one of the ones on the color vinyl, blah, blah, blah. I was like, I don't even care. I just want to have it to listen to, because it's Remission. It's great. I get home, I look at the vinyl, it's black vinyl, but whatever, I don't care. I've got Remission, I paid too much for it, but whatever. Cool, I've got it. Well, then I make the mistake of going on Amazon to look up Remission and to see how much it's actually selling for, and it's like less than $20. I could have bought a copy of Remission on the colored vinyl that I do enjoy. I'm not going to lie. The colored vinyl is a selling point for me. Like there are albums that I own that I perhaps would not have bought if not for the colored vinyl. So, Dave is dumb. We all do dumb things from time to time and make snap decisions when we're in situations where we kind of have to shit or get off the pot, and unfortunately, sometimes we shit a little sooner than we should. I don't think that was a good metaphor, but I am out of time because you guys don't want to hear any more about other bands. You don't want to hear about these lesser bands that I went and saw. You want to hear about the band that I seem to be working every frickin' time they play lately, the Casket Creatures. Cliff, Kevin, Ryan came over to the Phantom Zone, sat down on the Phantom sofa, and had a Phantom interview with Phantom Troublemaker. That was great. No, it was a great time. We had fun. We got a lot of words out of Kevin, which was apparently a very exciting development for everybody. We talked about shooting the Phantom Zone video, the song for which you are going to hear in just a moment, and it was great. We talked about the new album. We talked about their recording process, their writing process, how they do things. We could have talked for much longer, but we had a pay-per-view to watch, so there you go. That's what happens. And now it is time for you to hear the first single off of Return to Wolfton, the new album from the Casket Creatures, which, by the way, is legit. Like, remove the fact that I'm friends with these guys. Remove the fact that they're based in Atlanta, where I live. Remove the fact that they play at horror conventions that I go to. Like, take out every bit of bias that I might have for the Casket Creatures. This album is badass. It is legitimately a in my rotation album. It is not a my friends made this, so I'm going to put it on my MP3 player and never listen to it album. It is legit going to be a I'm listening to this frequently on my drives to work instead of podcasts album. It's really, really good. And you guys, I think you'll know what I'm talking about here. Very rarely does an album come out that when it ends, you're like, oh shit, I wish there was more. You know what I mean? Like, the last few tracks usually drag a little bit. By the time the album's done, you're like, okay, that was cool. Let's go do something else. This album, legit, when the last track finishes, you're like, oh, which is great. That's a good thing because it leaves you wanting more. I'm already stoked to hear what they're going to do next and how 70s style ELO electric keyboards will play into it. All right, you guys, here is the Phantom Zone from the Casket Creatures from their new album, Return to Wolfton, and you might recognize something about this intro.
It is the year 2027. Humanity's science has created wonders beyond the wildest dreams of past generations. But now, has man gone too far? Black science has ripped a hole in reality, and this universe must face the madness that lies beyond in the Phantom Zone.
Are all I left behind. Now I'm stuck will go. There is no feeling to the phantom zone. We will go. You'll never leave me to the phantom zone. We will go. Come to the river to the phantom zone. We will go. Black hole for eternity.
All right, I'm sitting here in the Phantom Zone with Ryan, Cliff, and Kevin from the Casket Creatures, and we're going to talk about a little bit of the history of the band. We're going to talk about the new album, Return to Wolfton, available today when this goes up, because the 18th is the release, right?
Yeah, if you're in Charlotte,
right?
I mean,
right.
It'll
be up to
digitally,
and we're going to do. I've never done this, so this may go over terribly. But I've got 5 questions here, and I'm going to ask each of you these 5 questions. We're going to go down the line, just to kind of break it up a little bit, to get started, to get everybody rolling. So question number 1, because Needless Things essentially got its start as a toy site, whatever. Mm-hmm. Your favorite toy or toy line?
Street Sharks. I love them. I love the way they look. I wish that they would re-release them all. I think that they just looked awesome. They were bigger than all my other toys, and
they were huge.
They were intense, yeah. And I don't know, they were like Ninja Turtles, but I thought they were cooler because they were sharks and not turtles. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. Street Sharks episode coming soon.
Yeah, I'm all about it.
Cliff, favorite toy or toy line?
Probably the that giant plastic Rancor figure that everybody had.
Yeah.
If I had to pick one, that's probably it.
And the commercial for that thing was better than the actual movie.
Yeah.
And Kevin?
I'm not really a toy collector now, but as a
But
kid,
when you were a kid, it's fine.
G.I. Joe is my favorite toy.
Oh, yeah. There
I
you go.
love the cartoon. I had the toys. I was out in the yard playing with them. Unfortunately, fucked them all up.
I was just writing a thing the other day about going in the backyard, and we had a sandbox back there.
Oh, yeah, dude.
And we would build these platforms and everything, and we dug a trench, which my dad was super not pleased about. We dug a trench, lined it with trash bags, brought the hose up there, and I don't even know how much water we wasted that day, because we were out there for hours, and we had the hovercraft going up and down, and the hydrofoil, which really didn't float worth a shit and kind of capsized. It was awesome. All right, favorite monster?
Stars Ryan on that one.
All right.
Favorite monster? Probably the Xenomorph from Alien.
Okay.
Yeah.
Creature from the Black Lagoon.
Nice.
You didn't give me enough time to think.
Well, I knew my answer.
I don't know. Gremlins count?
Yeah, absolutely.
Totally.
Yeah, totally. Very good. All right. Taylor Swift or Debbie Gibson?
I'd have to go with Debbie Gibson.
All right.
Debbie fucking Gibson.
Yeah, Debbie Gibson.
Debbie Gibson across the board.
All the way.
Very good. Very good. Greatest song ever recorded?
Oh, wow. That's really...
Whatever pops in your head first. It doesn't have to be a legit
Holy
scientific
Wars
answer.
by Megadeth.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to go Painkiller, Judas Priest.
Oh, that's
all
a good
right.
answer.
Kevin, I feel like I'm ruining your day.
That's a really hard one. I was going to go with something off of Rust in Peace, because I think that's the best thrash album ever recorded.
I agree with that.
Oh, man. We might have an Anthrax versus Megadeth discussion at some point as well.
I'm down with that.
We'll do that after the Sewer Sharks episode.
Yeah.
I like Tornado of Souls on that. The whole album's awesome, but I'll just go with that.
Okay, cool.
Nice.
And finally, cake or pie?
Pie.
Ooh, it depends on the cake or the pie.
Your
is a loaded
favorite
question.
Your favorite of whichever one.
Let's go pie.
Pie. Pie across the board.
Yeah,
See,
I'm
and
the crust. That's the reason.
And that
filling
is why you guys are one of the greatest fans of all time. Look at that agreement.
Yeah, that's
all
what
the
it
way
is.
across there. All right, so let's talk a little bit about how this iteration of the Casket Creatures came together.
So, band's been around for a while. We've obviously gone through a lot of changes and stuff, but things kind of solidified, whenever we did the She Screams album, especially just I feel like the songwriting stepped up and the quality of songs stepped up, and a lot of that had to do with Cliff joining the band. and being like, you know, right there with us, writing everything. And I feel like things have just stayed that way. And with the addition of Kevin as a second guitar, and it just kind of fills things in, it makes us like a lot tighter band. I feel like this is the lineup.
Oh,
I was nodding my head the whole time because
Yeah.
She Screams is the one where I really started like telling people,
Yeah.
like, you need to hear this.
Yeah, I think that everything since then has been like extremely quality. I'm not downplaying the stuff we did in the past.
No,
but
not
it's
at all,
just-
because it's awesome. I mean, that's.
But I feel like we just had
you
a
guys the first
direction.
time.
Yeah,
That was super early. I'm trying to remember.
probably our first album.
Yeah, it was. It was definitely the first album, but I'm trying to remember if the album was actually even.
It probably had just come out.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we didn't know what we were doing. I don't even think we did like a really like official CD release party or anything. Like we're just kind of like, hey, we got something. And looking back at that album now, it's really rough around the edges. But I mean, that's what you do. You start out rough and you work your way up. And I feel like now everything we've done has just been like consistent, and I think it gets better each time. Personally,
Have you guys considered doing like an EP and maybe re-recording some of the older songs?
we've talked
Yep.
about that actually.
Because I
about it for sure, yeah.
listening to the first two, I've kind of thought that, like, man, I would really love to hear, like, because you guys play them live now, and
Yeah.
they're different.
Yeah.
They're
Oh, yeah.
they're sharper.
We've
There's
changed
a lot
leads
more
in
to
'em.
them.
Yeah.
And it is almost be like a Greater of Two Evils thing.
Yeah.
Which, granted, you're far better than John Bush, but I'm just kidding. I like John Bush just fine. But it would be like just a.
No, I know what you mean.
Clean
Yeah,
'em up and-
It would be really cool because especially it was like the main thing wasn't even the songs; it was just the production quality.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and we were recording with somebody who he was new to recording, and we're new to being a horror punk band, and it was just it's like, well, that's what we got,
Well, and that I love that kind of stuff because you do see the progression. Like you pull your albums out, or I guess you pull your flash drive out or whatever now.
I still have CDs.
But you can. I love hearing bands grow and still having that original sound that whatever it might have been.
Yeah.
Cliff, what were you up to prior to joining up with these guys?
At the time, I was in a 6-piece melodic death metal band called Tortoise, and we got added on a show at Sweetwater with the Casket Creatures. It ended up being their first show ever. I didn't really pay a whole lot of attention to the flyer, but as we were loading in, I was like, oh shit, that guy's got a Blitz Kid shirt on. Oh cool, that guy's wearing a Misfits shirt. Oh, they're putting on makeup. Oh fuck, is this a horror punk band? And they were. And I ate that shit up. So
It turned out they were not doing Debbie Gibson covers.
And it was cool because it's the same with Kevin too. It's like Cliff started out as just like our friend, like really close friend, and we just hung out all the time. He would come to shows, and he was in our music video for Curse of the Mummy soon before he was even in the band. And Kevin was our photographer before he joined the band, and it's like it was really close friends that finally got together, and we're just like, we're doing this. As soon as there's an opening, we're like, hey Cliff, come on, yeah.
Now, what was your background? How did you start playing, like, before this? Don't worry about her. She just comes down here to give me editing problems. What? Go ahead.
That one.
Shreds.
Make a time note. 11 minutes. Perfect. So, anyway. How long have you been playing and what got you started?
I hadn't played in a long time when they asked me. Actually, they called me drunk on a weekday. It was like a Thursday, and they're like, "Yo, dude,
That's what we
you play a show in 2.5 weeks and learn 15 songs." And I was like, I haven't played guitar in about 7 years. I don't know any guitar. They're like, "That's cool. You can just borrow Derek's." So I learned all that shit real quick, and I played my first show. And actually, it was I think it was April. It was 2015, so 3 years ago. I played my first show with them. Played a couple shows, and while Derek was on tour, filled in with them. And then almost 2 years ago, I think in June or something, is when they asked me play full time, so I bought a guitar and actually learned how to play again.
Yeah, it started out as like a like Derek's going to be touring with his band, and we need someone to step in and cover him because we still have shows booked. You know,
Right.
because he got booked on his tour, but we still had shows booked. And I mean, it just made sense to just have him be full time. So, and obviously, we have less awesome photos of us on stage now because he's our photographer. But it's still happy about it.
Now, you've directed all the videos so far since you've been
since
part of the band.
Yeah.
What was the transition like? Because I mean, still photography was your thing, but this is a different medium now.
Basically, we just came up with an idea for a video because me and Ryan work together, so all day we're just talking about dumb shit we want to do. And we came up with an idea for video, and I was like, cool, I got a camera. I don't know shit about doing video, but literally the day of the video, I was figuring out how to actually hit record on my camera. So we just did it, and
That's great, though.
that's what we've been doing. We have a lot of cool ideas. I mean, we literally have no equipment. I mean, we don't have anything. We just do it all. We just get creative and come up with ways of solving problems because we have a lot of really cool ideas.
I love
what we
that
do.
process so
We
much.
get
though.
there and we're like, cool, we don't have all these fancy lights and all this shit. We'll just use whatever we found.
You got to figure it out, and you learn so much doing that.
Yeah.
Like, it's been the same thing from the website to the podcast and everything else. Like, nobody's shown me how to do anything.
Yeah.
I've had to figure out everything.
We've all learned. We all do. It's not like, we all literally come up with ideas while we're there. I mean, we do a lot of, like, planning, even though our videos are really goofy and funny, but we actually put a lot of work in actually planning them, and we just bounce off ideas off everybody.
Exactly.
And while we're there, we're coming up with shit.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing. Like, we'll start with like a little grain of an idea. Like with Phantom Zone, it was like, you know, I was like, oh, Cliff, like we have to have a scene where you face off about this guy, and then he's like, well, what if I like use a knife? And then it escalated into a lightsaber, and then you know, for copyright infringement purposes, I just got the off-brand
Space sword.
space swords.
Laser sword.
Yeah. So
I'm telling you, you guys need to go to Cracker Barrel and check out their selection of laser guns.
yeah, you're telling me about that. It sounds awesome.
They're
I'll
amazing.
find a Debbie Gibson CD while we're in there.
Yeah, I'm sure you can. So with the video stuff, which the Phantom Zone video being on that was incredible. I came home and I told Mrs. Troublemaker, I was like, I wish I could do that every day.
Yeah,
because
it was
working with you guys
fun.
was so much fun. And it felt like it was very clear that you had an arc, that you knew like what the plan was.
Yeah.
But there was also a lot of, like you were saying, just tossing ideas out and saying, well, if we do this here, let's figure out a different way to do this.
Yeah.
It was just one of the most fun creative times I've had.
Yeah.
And I see now, like, why every time you guys are shooting a video, there's immediately like, I'll be there.
Yeah.
I'm on it.
Oh yeah, yeah.
The biggest learning curve is we don't shoot stuff in order, so it's good to have a plan of attack, and we don't like doing videos where we're just in a warehouse, you know, performing. We actually want to tell a story because we have so many ideas. So we had, I think, 11 people in that video,
Yeah.
including us.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
So we're always trying to jam tons of shit in the 3 minutes.
Yeah, and I mean that's the thing. It's like I think all of our songs kind of tell a story, so it's pointless to just do a performance video.
Well, and what's funny is the Phantom Zone could have very easily turned into kind of a mess because there's so much going on.
Yeah.
But it is very easy to follow the narrative.
Yeah,
I can't imagine what a nightmare editing that thing together was, though. I mean, it had to be just syncing it up,
I don't
right?
enjoy that part that much 'cause I don't know what the hell I'm doing. And we had 120 different clips to go through, so there's just a lot of stuff to go through. And we are trying to tell a story without any actual verbal talking, so it's really, that's another hard part, is trying to make sure, because in our minds we know the story, but it's like, is somebody else going to see this and be like, what the hell's going on?
yeah,
I think we did pretty good in this one. I was pretty happy,
yeah. Me too.
considering how much shit we had going on.
It's good to have an awareness of that too, because it is hard sometimes to realize the audience doesn't have all the knowledge that you have.
Yeah.
So we got to make sure everything is clear and lay it out.
That's why you got to have a paper plate that says self-destruct button.
Exactly.
Stuff like that.
Exactly.
And Cliff's a damn good actor. I just want to throw that out there.
He is.
He is a really good actor.
Yeah, he's the heart and soul of the whole video.
He was in our Deranged video. He was perfect.
Yeah.
That's the first video I ever did. And Cliff was in. I was like, man, this guy can act.
No, for real. You sold. It was funny because seeing it in person, everybody's kind of having fun and like nothing necessarily stood out. But in the finished product, like you sell setting off the spoilers for those who may not have watched it. And if you haven't, go to the Casket Creatures YouTube channel and check out the video for Phantom Zone. But you sell hitting that button like you sell. We got to get the fuck out of here. Like it comes across. I mean, it all totally works. It's not. It doesn't feel like amateur hour bullshit. Like you're watching you and like, well, and it's a fucking beer box. So good.
That scene was all done in like one take. We barely talked about it at all. Like we were just like, okay, well, we have to set up like us getting into the base and fighting the guard. And like that was all done in one take, I think, right? Like we didn't, and it was all just us riffing off each other.
Do you know why? It's that Debbie Gibson connection.
That's what it is. Yeah. That's what it is.
That's exactly what it is. I want to talk about the new album and kind of how it came together. Oh, actually, before that though, you mentioned the makeup. How do you guys go about choosing? How did you come to your individual look? Because each of you has a very specific, like, immediately recognizable deal, even though it's similar stuff.
I've been painting my face and going to shows since I was 14 years old. And my biggest thing was always, like, full face skull makeup. And then I got in the Casket Creatures, and they were like, all right, get ready to do your makeup. One rule, no skulls. So I was like, well, shit. And
I forgot about that.
But it was just kind of stepping outside of my comfort zone and just like kind of like feeding off of what they do without like directly copying somebody. Like it's all about the eyes, pretty much.
Yeah, well, and it's tough because it's when you've got that black and white motif. It is hard to not be sort of feel like it's mimicking something else,
right?
Yeah. Yeah, and the skull thing is just so not. I mean, I don't want to say overdone, but it's just like
everyone fucking does it.
Yeah. I guess it is overdone. It's just
it is. If you see the black and white face paint, it's probably a skull.
Yeah, and all of us have just kind of done our own thing with it, and I mean, it's really like kind of evolved.
Yeah,
like recently, Cliff's been doing some like crazy shit, but I'm loving it.
Kevin, yours is the most disturbing by far.
I'm just lazy. I just do the same shit every show. It takes 2.5 minutes.
But it's very like the all black is just when you're up on stage. It's a hell of a presence. It looks good. I mean, it's a solid. It's funny because there's personality and obviously in that, and you guys all have like a very specific look up there. So talking about Return to Wolfton. Out today if you're in Charlotte, and out everywhere else.
Yeah, it'll be all digitally. It'll be available everywhere that day.
Okay.
And then shortly after that, probably after that weekend, we'll have it up on our web store, our Big Cartel, and you can actually get the physical copies.
Okay.
There'll be a few on cdbaby.com, so if you go to cdbaby.com like right now, and you're like one of the first like 10 or 15 people, there'll be copies up.
Yeah, I don't know how technology works because I'm an idiot. So I was going to burn my copy so I could put it on my flash drive, and of course the information isn't, it doesn't pop up.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, oh shit, if I put this in, is it gonna like go out to the world? I don't know how that works. So I was like, I took it out. I was like, I'm just waiting. I'm not taking any chance. I'm not gonna be the dumb asshole that leaks all the song titles and everything because none of that's out yet, right? Like the Phantom Zone is it? Yeah,
I mean that's it right now. I mean people know that we do have a Two Skulls tribute song, and I mean since it's going to be on the 18th, we can talk about whatever we want.
Right.
But there's a Two Skulls tribute song on there that a few people, like his close friends and family, have heard, and hopefully I'm thinking we're going to put that out as like a free download pretty soon, just for anybody who wants it.
Yeah, let's. Do you guys want to talk about Tony a little bit?
Yeah.
Okay. because Two Skulls is amazing. And I love, and I'm not just blowing smoke up your ass, I love every song on this album.
Yeah.
I'm really blown away by how tight it is, and how, when it was done, I was like, oh shit, that's it?
Yeah.
Because so many albums you get now, like there are a couple of songs that you're like, all right, let's move it along, this is a little self-indulgent, and then like, typically the back end of any album, you're just ready.
Yeah.
A couple songs before it's over. Yeah. But this was, I mean, everything just moved along. It's really, really good. But Two Skulls, I didn't even look at the track listing when I started it. So when it started playing, when I saw it pop up, I was like, oh wow, this is, it comes across as something really special.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like tribute songs can be lame at times.
It's tough.
It's very tough. And I feel like that one just came together really good. And there's like a lot of heart in that one.
Yeah.
And I think that it kind of encapsulates, because I think like when I had like the rough draft of the lyrics, which have changed and stuff since that, before the actual recording, but I remember sending him to everybody, and like everybody kind of agreed that's how we all felt about his time. And it's not all sad and depressing. It's more about like the good times we had and like the cool stuff we got to do with them in that short amount of time that we had with them.
Yeah.
Now the tone of it is very like celebratory, very like,
oh yeah,
good.
We love this guy. We love the stuff we did with him.
And it ends on a laugh, which is good, I think.
Yeah.
You want to tell the story of that? Either one of you guys?
I wasn't there.
Oh yeah.
Just say Billy Rat he made the album great by keeping the Two Skulls chant going a little bit longer than it was supposed to.
Yeah.
Just,
we had everyone together to record the chants, and like everyone kind of felt when it was time to stop.
Oh, that was the big picture you guys put up.
Okay. Yeah, and we just got a group together, and a lot of his close friends and family and stuff, and we were recording that, and it's like everyone kind of felt when it was time to stop, and Billy kept it going one extra time. Everybody just cracks up laughing.
No, it's perfect.
Yeah.
It's absolutely perfect.
I think so too. Yeah, and like we're like, someone was like, "Oh, y'all can just cut that part out," and I'm like, "No, that's awesome." Yeah, like that makes it.
Do you guys have like a specific Tony memory you want to go down the line and share? Anything that stands out?
Yelling? I have one very specific one.
You go first.
Give Kevin a fucking break here. Come on.
We're asking a lot.
Start on that. I don't want to talk.
All right, so I think mine is probably. Let's see here. No, I can't tell that one. Okay, I can tell this one. All right. So this, my absolute favorite one is when we played with a band in Mule Camp Tavern, and they were like the Alice Cooper tribute band, and they thought they were awesome. Like they brought their own like RV out back, and they're like, Alice is in the tour bus, and like they were like total sticks to us. Yeah, and like they put me in like and like we were just mad leading up to the show because like they were sending us all these messages like, make sure you're here at 3 o'clock for a production meeting. I'm like, dude, we're playing a bar. Like, I'm gonna show up at like.
Wait, this band was sending you these messages?
And it wasn't the bar; it was the band.
What
it's
did
never
you
happened.
have to do with their shit?
I don't know. Like, I've never experienced anything like it in my life. And luckily, like Cliff got to. I don't know. Luckily, kind of.
I would be in fucking jail if I were there.
Yeah,
so I guess
true.
Luckily I wasn't there.
But it was just a whole clusterfuck. But like Tony hadn't been in the band that long, and
wasn't that his second show?
Yeah, I think it was. And
Wow.
and it was just crazy because we were like all mad, and he was like totally had our backs, and like that's why there's a line in the thing like opening for shitty tribute bands or cover bands, and like. He totally, like, had our back, like, right off the bat. Like, one of the guys grabbed, like, some of Kevin's equipment, and Kevin, like, was like, what the fuck are y'all doing? And, like, they were just being dicks to us the whole time. And, like, we're playing our set. They're literally on stage, like, hanging up their set list. And, like,
oh my god,
while we're playing. Like, it was insane. And it was just one of those things, like, right after the set was done, we're just trying to get off, because there's only one way off the stage. And they were trying to load on. And Tony, who we've been, hanging out with a lot, it was only the second show, he snapped, and we've never seen him get mad, ever. And he was like, guys, he's like, this isn't my first fucking show, just let me off the stage and y'all can get on. And me and Derek and Kevin, like, teleported over there, and we're like, if you were fucking with Tony, our drummer, like, we will kill you. And, like, we barely knew Tony at the time, but we were like, we don't like that someone pissed him off. It just set us off. Because we know he was a nice guy, and, like, he doesn't just fly off the handle. But anyways, it was just funny because, like, right after our set, like I said in the mic, and I was like, all right, guys, we're all going down the street, and the entire bar cleared out, and nobody even watched them play.
I bet Ronnie watched them play.
Yeah, he watched them play, and probably, like, their wives or whatever. But that was it. It was pretty funny, because they thought they were hot shit until they played with the Casket Creatures. And then they didn't play again after. That was it. One and done.
You got yours, or?
Well, you got one?
I got one, but if you're ready, you can go.
One fun experience, we played some LARP thing, which I'm not all into that shit. I didn't really know what it is, but I'll play anytime.
Yeah.
I mean, and some friends of ours were into that shit, and they had us go in, South Carolina?
Yeah.
And it was outdoors. It was like in December. It was cold as balls.
Was it like one of the post-apocalyptic?
Yeah.
They got like a whole little town built and all this shit.
Yeah.
And they had some little wooden stage thing, and
It was cool. Like, they had the cars from, like, Mad Max.
yeah,
and shit
dude,
there.
it was all like Mad Maxy thing, and
Yeah.
everybody dressed up, except for me, really.
Yeah.
Cliff had all these, they're all about foam, everything. Cliff comes with like a real gun and 6 fucking nails sticking out.
I had 2 real guns.
And they're like, holy shit, are those real? And these dudes all have foam stuff.
They
And
were
he's like,
terrified of us.
he has like spikes like this tall sticking out, and he's fighting people. And we drank like 40 fucking beers when we played, and it was cold as shit. And I'm all in there fucking, shaking. I turn around and Tony's got his shirt off. Just fucking. You remember that?
Yeah.
I took a picture of him, but
Yeah. He played, like, almost the whole set with his
I
shirt
know,
off.
dude. We were all freezing,
Yeah.
and he's like with no shirt on. It was fun.
I had like 4 jackets on, and he's like playing with no shirt on. He's like, "Wow!" Like, just all about it. I'm like, this is awesome.
I'm rock and roll drummer guy.
Yeah.
You can't stop me.
I mean, if you drink enough beers, you're immune
It's
to
true.
cold.
That
Yeah,
was, that was
that's
a
true.
good
It's a
time.
fact.
That was a real good time.
Yeah, yeah. And he woke up in a closet. Like,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
We were staying in this shitty little cabin. It was tiny. It looked big on the outside. We're like, cool. We get inside, and it's like
A room.
5 feet by 8 feet or something. There's like
The whole band
7
had to
of
sleep in
us
there.
or something in there.
Yeah.
And there's
yeah,
like
all the
one
girls.
tiny closet, and he's all rolled up in an ass ball in there. It was great.
Oh shit. So mine is this is always my go-to Tony story. We played in Albany, Georgia, at the Oglethorpe Lounge,
Shit.
and the bartender there loves us. So at the end of the night, she sent us out with a gallon of their like signature drink they make, and
It's so good.
they're good, but they will put you on your ass
Yeah.
quick. So we get back to the hotel, and like Derek and Kevin are being responsible. They're like, we're going to bed, and it's me and Tony and Ryan, and I'm just like, hey, the pool's open. So
It's not open.
the gate was open, which
Oh,
means
okay.
the pool was open.
So the pool was accessible. It
Yeah.
was really more.
But it was 2:00 in the fucking morning, and the 3 of us just like drank like 2 4 Locos and that gallon of blue drink in the pool. And I don't even know how we didn't drown or make it back to the hotel room. But we get back to the room, don't even shut the door. The door was open all night.
Not in a safe area at all.
I think me and Derek slept in the same bed, and then wait, no, I can't remember. But anyway,
think
Tony
you
was
were
in the
here.
floor.
Oh,
Yeah, Derek was in my room on the floor.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tony was in the floor. So like, I wake up in the morning, I'm like trying to like put my get my shit together, and like I grab one of my boots, and it's soaking wet. And I was like, what the fuck happened? And I go to the bathroom, and somebody had puked in my boot. And Tony sits up in the floor, and in just the most like, he said this like he was saying it to a fucking room of businessmen. He was so like professional. He was like, guys, I might have thrown up last night. And
And he definitely did.
yeah, so it in my
Cliff
boot.
was outside walking around with one boot
Yeah, we
on.
got a picture of him coming out, like holding one boot, all sad looking.
I like washed it out in the sink, and I'm like in the fucking Waffle House with one boot on, trying to dry it under the hand dryer.
It was a fucking mess.
Oh god, it was awesome, man.
Yeah, that was a good one though. I think
Oh,
the
man.
common theme with all of those were like just fucking just trashy shit. Just wild.
He knew what band he was in.
Yep. Yep.
Now you guys have played a lot of different kinds of places. Like you've played Six Flags, you've played Oglethorpe, you've played what's the place in South Carolina? Is it in Greenville?
There's
We used to play Beer Bellies a lot in Anderson.
That might be. Maybe that's what
Beer
I'm thinking
Bellies. We've
of.
played Ground Zero. We've played Tribbles once, and we'll be back up there pretty soon.
Yeah.
Do you have like a favorite venue or a favorite show that's gone down?
Favorite venue? Honestly, I think the Earl, man. We played the Earl with Coffin Cats, and I was like just blown away by the sound, and like it was just incredible. I think the Earl's probably mine, and that show in particular was just
Yeah.
great.
I could never say a show, like any one particular show, but venues. My favorite might be Open Chord in Knoxville.
That place is cool.
It's like it's the nicest place we've ever played.
Yeah,
and I was certain they weren't going to want us back because the floors were like squishy after we played. Like it's all carpet in there.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Yeah. And they don't serve shots, but they have wine.
Yeah, someone gave Ryan a shot of Merlot on stage.
And I didn't know it. I threw up immediately.
Oh,
I was like, what? And just, it was bad.
yeah. I can't take wine at all.
Yeah.
Wine's no good.
Nah.
It's like the one. Well, that and Four Loko. No.
Maybe you should try
thank
mixing Four Loko and wine.
And wine.
It might cancel it out.
I feel like
That
that
might
wouldn't
be.
work
No,
at all.
that would be a terrible idea. That would not be as good an idea as eggnog and Jack of Blast.
Oh, that was good.
Turned out to be.
That was really
That was
good.
tremendous.
Yeah.
As far as touring, like you guys have day jobs, you guys have responsibilities. Is scheduling, like, does that become an issue sometimes?
We're looking at a lot more
I say
stuff.
touring, I just playing shows.
Well, yeah, but we're looking at a lot more stuff this year as far as out of state stuff. We play all the time, like 3 or 4 times a month. It seems like, especially like in October. Like that's just, one year we played 18 shows in October. Like it was insane. Like I don't even know how that's possible.
And that's a lot of shows. Like you got to sit down and you think like 18 shows, but you've got to put that number in perspective and be like, there are only 31 days in
I know,
October.
yeah.
And 18 of those 31 days, that's more than half.
Yeah.
That's like not a lot of downtime. And again, with day job responsibilities, all the other stuff you got going on.
Yeah.
And playing 18 shows.
But right now we have in July. Do you remember the dates that's not coming up?
It's July 12th, 13th, and 14th.
Yeah.
And July 28th we're playing.
Yeah. Which one's July 28th?
That's Star Bar.
Oh yeah. Yeah, but so those 3 dates in July, we're going to be doing South Carolina, Maryland, right?
Yeah, Baltimore.
Baltimore, yeah, and then Worcester. I think is how you say it.
However the hell you
I don't know.
pronounce it.
Worcester.
Oh.
I heard it's Worcester.
Yeah, I don't know.
Worcester, I don't know.
W.
It's like right outside.
There's way too many letters in it for it to be Worcester.
I know,
But I think that's what it is.
I think so too. But I don't know. Boston. We'll just say Boston.
There you go.
So, but yeah, we're doing like a 3-day run out there. We're playing with 2 of the guys from the 2 guys from Blitzkid. Like both of their bands are playing. Kind of hoping there's a little mini reunion thing
God, I
happening.
hope so.
But so it'll be Argyle Goolsby and a Gathering of None, and we're playing like right before them. So we're driving all the way out there and hopefully making some money on the way.
Right.
But that's what it comes down to. It comes to like we can't come out of pocket. Like we try not to ever do that.
Yeah.
And as long as like we can pull it off with like our work stuff, because me and Kevin work together, that's kind of a hurdle. But they've been cool with it. So if the show is worth doing, we'll make it happen.
Right.
We just can't run off like willy nilly every weekend to different.
I remember one. I don't remember what show it was, but it went until like 3 in the morning, and then I think you were back at work at like 6 or some shit.
Oh yeah.
Or no, was it in Knoxville? Did you have some kind of insane?
Yeah, we played in Knoxville on a Monday night with Calabrese.
Oh
yeah, that's what I'm thinking of.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
That one was a lot of fun. Was that venue that looked like a church?
Yeah, that was the
Scruffy Music Hall?
Music Hall,
Yeah,
yeah.
with Calabrese. That was a great show. So much fun. But yeah, I mean, that was a situation where it's like, yeah, we drive all the way back and then sleep for an hour and go to work.
Oh my gosh.
Because, I mean, I try not to take days off if I don't have to.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
I'm
absolutely.
like, I'll make it into work. I will be feeling rough, but I'll make it there.
Yeah.
Try to save your off days for when you're going out of town to play shows.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, let's bring it back around to the new album.
Okay.
And I want to talk a little bit about your creative process. Like, what is the songwriting process with you guys? Who does what? Is it totally collaborative? Do you come up with a riff and then kind of put a concept
It's
to
more
it?
like that. It's like it starts with a riff of some sort, and then it just kind of spirals into whatever. And like a lot of stuff we write in the studio too. Like we come up with a lot of cool ideas. You know, like we'll have the bare bones, and we'll write like a scratch track, send it to everybody, and be like, hey, you know, what does everybody think? Whatever. But it kind of evolves up until we're actually in the studio. But yeah, I mean, a lot of times it's like, hey, we want to do like an It song, like Pennywise song. Like we want to do that, and Derek came up with that opening riff, and it's like, you know, hey, that's the one. Like that fits the tone of that.
Right.
And the sci-fi thing kind of just happened on accident. We just were writing all these songs, and we did like Phantom Zone, Roswell, Return to Wolfton, and we're like, well, I might as well just like have a whole, you know, sci-fi theme to it. It wasn't really planned; it just kind of happened. But I mean, as far as writing, I mean,
that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Did you have, going into this album, were there like kind of a couple songs that were the core that you had pretty solid before everything else came together?
For sure.
We started playing Phantom Zone a while ago, like before we even had like a full track list for this album. Like, did we play that with Tony even?
We were about to, because like we had sent it to him, and I remember him being like, "Dude, this new song is awesome."
That's right.
But we just, it just didn't happen.
Yeah, it's been a while since.
But it's been almost a year.
Since that one's been in rotation.
Yeah. And I mean, it's like a lot of times it'll just start with like one simple idea. Someone would be like, "We should do a song about this," and it just kind of spirals into that. There's some songs on there like "No One Can Hear You," where I had completely different lyrics for it. Went to the studio, and it just was not working. And it may have been because I was very inebriated. It's possible.
I can't imagine that being part of any narrative here.
That was the night that I helped you get into bed, and then you immediately fell back out of bed.
But yeah, so that one, like, I was just really frustrated with it because it was like a song about Dracula. And I was like, I hate this song. Like, I hate everything about it. And I'm like, the music's really cool, but I just hate everything I'm doing on it. Like, I'm holding this song down. So the next day I wake up, and I'm literally, like, throwing up from drinking way too much. And, like, trying to, like, take a shower at the same time and writing lyrics at the same time. And, it just kind of turned into a song about Alien.
Which is awesome.
Yeah.
Like, because it fits with the science fiction theme, but also your favorite movie and your favorite monster.
Exactly.
You mentioned Losers Club, which it might be my favorite song on the album because it's so, I think I told you right after I heard it, like, it really feels like an 80s, like, almost has a little bit of Maiden feel to it, like some of the guitar stuff, but it's definitely like an arena metal feel, and it came together so well because you know what it's about.
Yeah,
like without even seeing the title, you guys like to tell stories with your songs.
Yeah, for sure.
How does that come together? Pretty easily for you? Do you run into roadblocks sometimes where you're like, are you conscious you're telling a story with these, or does it just come out that way?
I think it just comes out that way, but I mean, usually. A common thing with us is we'll have a chorus before we have anything else. So we had the whole, you know, we are the losers, whoa. Like, we had that before we had anything else. And then we just kind of build around that. So it's like, that was the kind of foundation for the song, and then everything else just kind of fell into place.
I feel like you guys kind of have to do a video for Attack of the 50-Foot Women. Like, with miniatures and shit.
Oh, that would be awesome. That'd be really badass.
Because there are a number of these that talking about having a narrative. There's so many of these that paint a mental picture as you're listening to them.
Yeah.
Like, you totally can see what the video would be, what would be happening, what you guys would be doing. And like you said, you know, you get the shots of you guys playing or whatever that's interspersed with whatever story is being told in the video. And it's very easy, especially having seen your past videos, to kind of visualize you guys doing things like pointing up at some giant chick and then going to her stomping around a Lionel train set or something, you know?
That would be awesome. I think there's a few that we have ideas for in the process of.
Now, Stringless. Stringless confounded me.
It's not sci-fi.
What the hell is Stringless? It's not Puppet Master, is it?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, it is Puppet
Yeah,
Master.
it is.
Never mind then.
Yeah.
It's not so confounding.
Yeah.
It almost seemed too straightforward. I was like, it can't just be Puppet Master. There's got to be more to it than that.
Nah, there's no deep meaning.
I even kind of thought maybe Ultron. I don't know, because that would be the sci-fi thing.
Yeah. No, it's a Puppet Master song. We've been wanting to do one forever. We actually wrote one like years ago called "Murder at the Bodega Inn," and it just never quite cut it.
Oh,
like
man.
It never made it onto any albums
Yeah.
or anything. I don't even know if we scratched it, but that one we just wrote. It's a short and fun one, and I think it's a good time.
When you're sitting down and putting the album itself to... Oh, and we got to mention, for everybody listening, you'll see this album art, certainly by the time this has gone up. You got to talk about this album cover and how this came together.
Basically, Dan, our buddy Elzig, we just reached out to him, and I was like, hey, like, I want, like, a really Jack Kirby looking, style to it. Actually, it all spawned from you, because you sent me some artwork from a comic that you were reading with the skull spaceship. I can't remember the name of it right.
Yeah, and actually, I'm blanking on it right now, too, because
Yeah.
it's been a long fucking day. Holy shit. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'll mention it in the intro.
There you go. Yeah, but so I pitched that to everyone. I was like, hey, what if like the Zombie Wars from Outer Space had a wolf, like a werewolf head spaceship, and everyone's like, that's awesome. And Dan just came up with the bag by himself. That's all him. The composition of that, he just drew that up, and we're like, we love it. And he's like, yeah, y'all just do whatever y'all want with it.
Yeah, it's beautiful. He did a great job on this, and it's definitely something. It's very different for you guys.
It's a lot more colorful.
A lot more color. And it's just to look at it, it's exciting. It's like, wow, what the fuck is this going to be? So, when you're organizing the songs and stuff, do you generally have an idea of what order they're going to go in? Do you try? Are you conscious? This is one of my things, and this is why we might have even talked about this about listening to records. Is now with music, when I was growing up as a kid buying cassette tapes and stuff, the first song on side B had to be big. It had to keep you going. And now, you don't really worry about that anymore.
Yeah.
But the song order is still very important as far as sort of building. How much effort does that take? Like, what's your process for thinking about what goes where?
I don't know. I mean, I think honestly, the simple answer is it's like burning a whole bunch of CDs and just like playing them and be like, oh, that sounds good going into this.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, and that sounds, that's basically it. And there's certain things like we knew Zombie Werewolves was like the last track on She Screams, and we're like, well, Return to Wolfton should be the last track on here. So some of it does the work for us, and we're like, okay, obviously we want the Wolfton intro to be before the song, and we know that we want your intro to be before Phantom Zone. So it's just a lot of stuff just kind of falls into place. And there's some stuff it's like, oh, the structure of those are a little similar. Let's separate these. And these sound good together, and it's just it's all about how it flows into each other.
Yeah.
When one song ends, you want something. If someone ends on a slow note, you want it to pick back up. You don't want any like dead space or like any lulls in the album. Everything needs to keep moving.
What we're going to go down the line again here. I will not start with Kevin.
Thank you.
What is something that, whether it's a specific song idea or just anything that you guys would like to see the band do sometime in the next 5 years or so, just an idea that you've had that you're like, man, it'd be really cool if we could manage to do this. We'll start with Cliff.
I've never talked to any of y'all about this, so this is going to be brand new shit.
Oh, shit!
I think it would be really cool to do like a 6 or 7 song EP about serial killers. Like a concept EP.
Badass.
That is kind of the next step after having like sort of a themed album to do an actual concept album, right?
Yeah. Concept album, yeah.
Or concept EP, yeah.
I mean, we could do a full length. I don't know, but
No, I think that'd be awesome. I did not know that. That's a cool idea. I like
Nice. Done. Make
That's
it
very
happen.
cool. I feel like that's probably what's going to happen.
hell yes.
Yeah, I think as far as me, I mean, I want to step up the video stuff. I mean, I eventually want us to do a damn Casket Creatures movie.
Yes.
Movie, comic books, like I want all of it. Like
I need to talk to you guys about an idea I have.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, I'm all about it. Like anything like that, because I don't think Casket Creatures are just it's not just about our music. Like there's a lot of ideas we have that go beyond music. So
No, there's a lot of multimedia potential.
yeah,
Absolutely.
exactly. Yeah, and I feel like a lot of bands don't really take advantage of that, and I feel like we've done a pretty good job with it, and I feel like we could keep it going and escalate it.
Oh, yeah.
And that, you know, like we're just ridiculous with a lot of our ideas, but I mean, people seem to like it. So
Hey, the Casket Creatures VR experience is going to be bad.
that would be awesome. Yeah, well, that's one of the things we were talking about Maiden earlier. That's one of the things I always respect about them. Is,
Yeah.
like, they've always gone like crazy. They're like, hey, we got like Iron Maiden games and Iron Maiden VR experiences, and like, I mean, I want to do shit like that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
Kevin.
What was the question?
Kevin's like, I hope to do no more interviews. That's my dream.
Yeah, we actually did have some other video. We have a lot of video ideas. We actually, last summer, we're going to do, like, I'm not going to say what we're going to do. We had this whole little series we were going to do. You know what I'm talking about.
Casket Creatures web series.
Yeah, and me and Ryan.
I mean, we can kind of. I mean, basically, it's gonna, and we will eventually do it. But basically, it's gonna be a bunch of picture like you gave each of us like our own show. Like
Yeah, it was like how-to videos. Like,
yeah.
Cliff would do something with knives or some shit, obviously.
Yeah, but like all of us in our makeup, the full like
Yeah.
And then,
I do like a nature series.
yeah, he was going to do like a nature's thing. I was going to do like some home improvement thing where we just fuck shit up.
yeah, just break everything. Yeah,
That was one idea
Derek
that
was
we
gonna do
had
a
last
sports
summer,
one.
but we never got around to it.
yeah.
We
I
hope to
forgot
do
about
that.
that. We need to do
Well,
that
it
shit.
kind of got lost in all the shit.
Oh,
going down
Yeah,
there, so-
we had a bunch of shit planned, but it got lost. But
But
me and
we
Ryan
need to
are
revisit that.
Yeah, we are working on a movie
Yeah,
that the Casket Creatures are probably going to be in as a.
we're gonna be a plot point.
Yeah, it's not the theme of the movie, but they'll probably show up in it.
Yeah.
So the one I'm thinking of.
No, listen.
Nah, it's so
Nah,
new.
we ain't getting this
Shit.
one away. It's a totally different direction.
Yeah.
Keep it under wraps.
And the thing I like about our videos is they are silly and goofy, and a lot of people in this genre are ultra serious.
Yeah.
In any type of like metal or horror punk, everybody's ultra serious. I think that's what I like the most about this, because this is all of our personalities. It's how we are in real life.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
I think that's why it works so well, because I think comedy stuff is really hard to do.
Yeah.
I think horror shit's easy. It's
Yeah.
easy to throw blood on shit, but to actually do videos that are legitimately funny is hard. Because it either is good or it's dumb as hell. There's no in between. I think we've been doing pretty good at it.
Yeah. I
Well, that's when you listen to actors talk about
Yeah.
comedy versus drama. They always say comedy is much harder.
Yeah.
I mean, that's common knowledge
Yeah.
thing. Shit. I just lost my train of thought. Damn it. I was so excited about the comedy thing. Oh, what I was going to say, that's why I love Anthrax. That's why they're my favorite thrash band.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they're
because
always goofy back then.
Yeah, they were goofy as shit. They never took themselves too
Even
seriously.
their mascot was goofy.
Yeah, they did goofy stuff like I'm the Man, and like it just they never. You know, don't get me wrong. I love well, even Megadeth had a little bit of a sense of humor sometimes, but like so many of those bands seemed so serious and took themselves so seriously that like, yeah, this is badass music, but you can only do badass for so long. You got to break it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, there's some new thrash like Municipal Waste, who I think we all love.
They
And
you
they're
should check
goofy.
them out if you
Yeah.
haven't.
I need to. I know they've done some stuff with like Adult Swim or something,
they
right?
definitely step up the goofiness.
They have an
really?
animated
It's awesome.
video that's really funny, but yeah, their videos are funny and goofy, and they have a lot of fun. And we went and saw them with Exodus not too long ago,
So awesome.
and they got
Oh, I think that was the Adult Swim thing,
It
wasn't
was,
it?
yeah.
Okay.
But
in my opinion, they just blew Exodus away.
yeah, and you can tell
They were the opener.
They were having a lot of damn fun, and
Yeah.
everybody in the crowd had fun because of it. Which is, I think, one of the things with Casket Creatures is we all have a lot of fun
Yeah.
on stage, and I think everybody that comes sees us has fun. I think it translates.
Like that picture of Derek and Cliff. Like,
Yeah.
there's this picture. We just need to post it from the Casket Creatures page.
Yeah.
But it's like it's pure joy. You just see it, and like they're on stage together, just like having the time of their lives. And this is just a random weeknight show, And
Yeah,
it's like that's what I love about this band. That's why like we've been doing it for so long, because it's never not been fun.
Well, it's so much more entertaining to see guys up on stage that are clearly having fun and not just like with their heads down, focusing on,
Oh, we fuck up all the time.
It's like a math equation and I can't get it wrong.
Yeah, that's boring.
It's the personality to me is much more interesting than the execution. If that makes sense.
I'd rather see an entertaining band than like a really technically like amazing band. It's like I want a show,
Like I loved seeing it was Megadeth, Anthrax, and Slayer. Megadeth played Rust in Peace in its entirety.
Oh, that was an awesome show.
But the thing was, they played that, and then they played like a little greatest hits mini set after that.
It was awesome.
But there was no it was just here are our songs. I think the one time Dave Mustaine stopped and said anything was when they finished Rust in Peace. He was like, "That was Rust in Peace." Yeah, and then they played like another song, and then it was like that's literally the only stage banter he had, which is what I expect. That's fine.
I don't know what it is about David Steen, but I could just look at that dude and laugh. So like, it's always entertaining to me. He's like Dog the Bounty Hunter or Alex Jones. It's just funny to me. Like, just its existence is funny to me. I mean, it's true.
I do love that he's on the same tier as Alex Jones and
Dog
the Bounty Hunter.
Yeah, he's that level. He's more talented, but
dangerous trio.
Yeah.
All right. Well, to wrap it up, what as the Casket Creatures going forward, you guys have a ton of work to do still with this album.
Yeah.
Because it's time to get out and play it. And how much have you played these songs?
We've played a couple of them for a few shows, but we haven't actually played all of them.
Yeah, we haven't played all of them yet.
Played like 5 songs off the album, I think.
Yeah.
Total. We practiced the other day and practiced 2 of them for the very first time, but
Yeah. I mean, a lot of the stuff we write like in the studio, so some of the stuff we're like, oh, this sounds good live. I mean, that's how we do it. That's how we've always done it.
yeah, we never played any of them together
Except
before
for
it's
Phantom Zone.
recorded, other than Phantom Zone.
Yeah.
How long does it take to figure out if a song is getting over live?
First show.
Yeah. There's been songs we've played and we're like, oof, we shouldn't do that one again. And then there's other times where you play it once and you're like, this is never leaving the set. This is always in.
Yeah,
I think
Robot Revolution for sure.
Yeah.
Oh my god, yeah, we played Robot Revolution for the first time. What was that?
Mule Camp.
Mule Camp, yeah. And man, like when that song hit, we were like, dude, this is like the most badass song we've ever played as a band. Like it's just people were just moving. Everyone's like, what the fuck's happening? It was just heavy and aggressive and just awesome. And that's one we're like, we're never taking that out. That's in every show.
Would you consider doing like a special event where you like played that album?
Funny you should ask.
Well,
You know.
come to the CD release show in Atlanta.
Oh wow!
We're doing a local release. We'll have more details coming out. Do you remember the date on that one?
June 2nd.
June 2nd, yeah. So,
Okay.
June 2nd, we'll be playing the entire album, and we're doing the Megadeth thing. We're going to play a little greatest hits thing after. So,
Holy shit!
yeah, we're doing that.
That's amazing.
So, and, hopefully we can... I think we may have briefly talked about it, but if you can, hopefully you can be there and do the introduction live.
Yeah, I'm working on that.
Yeah.
because I really, really want to be there.
It would be awesome.
I might
We'll
have
get
to
the
use a
whole
little
cast
vacation
from
for
Phantom
that.
Zone there.
Oh my gosh, that would be amazing.
Yeah.
So June 2nd, Atlanta album release party. For the listeners, tonight you guys are in Charlotte.
Yeah, and we'll be doing a listening party, so like everyone could hear the album for the first time, and they can meet us, talk to us about whatever.
Let me give you a little piece of advice about your listening party. One of the coolest things I've ever seen in my life, when I worked at the Masquerade, Motorhead played there. my little part of the story is that I had to take Lemmy's little tiny white zip-up boots to the shoe repair place to get them resold. Brought them back. When I got back, there was a special pre-show, like, Motorhead fan club thing going on in, this is the old Masquerade, obviously, going on in Purgatory. And they're playing Motorhead songs. Lemmy's sitting at the bar, singing along to all of the Motorhead songs. So for your release party, I fully expect the Casket Creatures to be singing along with all the Casket Creatures song in the spirit of Lemmy.
It depends on how much we've had to drink, but it's possible.
Well, come on now.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good call.
Any other shows coming up that you? I know we've mentioned a couple, but I'd like to bundle them all here together at the end.
Your graveyard shows before the listeners.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh yeah, Friday night at Days of the Dead Charlotte. Well, I guess that's tonight.
Tonight
At Days of the Dead
if
Charlotte.
You're at Days of the Dead Charlotte listening
Right
to
now.
this.
On the Blue Track, my other band, Graveyard Gospel, is doing an event called Sin and Salvation with Riot Kittens Burlesque. It's sort of like a little variety show kind of deal, and it's going to be fucking rad.
I've seen like, how many of you done these? Like 3 of them?
2 in Atlanta, 1 in Indy.
Yeah.
And the man put over the Blue Track too.
Yeah.
That was solid.
Yeah.
And they're playing with us on our CD.
Oh yeah,
release
on the CD release show.
Yeah.
Okay, cool,
Yeah.
cool.
Graveyard Gospel's super cool. Like, definitely check them out. Like, do y'all have any music posted yet?
Yeah, you can get we have all of our recorded acoustic material up for free on our Bandcamp page. It's like bandcamp.com/Graveyard Gospel.
They all know how Google works. They'll find
Oh
it.
yeah.
But yeah, they'll they beat you over the head with some like really evil music and some spiritual shit.
And where can we find the Casket Creatures online and what you guys are up to?
Yeah, I mean, just look us up. Facebook's where we normally post everything. We got an Instagram account that we post a lot of cool stuff on. Today we posted a teaser for Phantom Zone. That was pretty neat. And then our YouTube channel. So I think that's it.
Awesome. You guys, thank you for coming to the Phantom Zone and listening to dogs and children yelling all day. And I'm looking forward to June 2nd.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
Awesome. Thanks a lot, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, I have to clarify something. I think in the intro I referred to Phantom Zone as the Phantom Zone, the song, not the place. And it is Phantom Zone with no the. There's no article at the beginning. And I say this because for years people would call me the Phantom Troublemaker, and I wasn't. I was just Phantom Troublemaker. It was a name, not a title. There is no need for a designation there. That's just my little nitpicky grammar thing. But I am not currently going by the Dave West, which, good Lord, please don't ever refer to me that way. Anyway, I hope I didn't go too long in that intro. That was one of the longer ones I've had that wasn't actually an entire episode of just me talking. But that show was an experience for me. I didn't even talk. You should thank your lucky stars I didn't get to talk about how great the Fox is. That place is awesome. I haven't been there in a few years. I think the last time I was there, me and Mrs. Troublemaker went and saw Wicked. It's so nice. It's so well kept. It's so huge as far as just the places in the lobby and the different rooms and everything. The bathrooms are way downstairs, way far away from all the nice areas. The seats are big enough, even though this place was built who knows how long ago. It's got nice wide seats that I didn't have to squeeze into. The one problem I had is the only beer they had was Yingling. And I am not particularly fond of what I assume is the taste of horse urine. So, how did this Yingling thing happen? All of a sudden, a few years ago, everybody I know is drinking Yingling, and it's terrible. It's okay, because I love you guys.
Thank you for listening to the Needless Things podcast. You're the best. You can find the show on iTunes, Stitcher, Downcast, or in the ears of a Trader Vic's employee. Love you, mean it,